Hey everyone, and welcome back. Have you ever really stopped to think about it? That chilling, almost unthinkable scenario where suddenly, out of nowhere, you feel an intense pressure in your chest. Your arm starts aching, and the alarming realization dawns on you. This could be a heart attack. And the even scarier thought? You're completely and utterly alone. It's a terrifying picture, isn't it? And sadly, it happens far more often than we'd like to admit. We all hope we'll have time or that a loved one will be right there, ready to call for help. But the brutal truth is, the first 5 minutes of a heart attack are the most critical. Every single second counts, and what you do or don't do in those initial moments can literally be the difference between life and death. It's not about being a hero, it's about being prepared. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If I'm alone, what hope do I really have? Well, here's the good news, the truly vital takeaway. Even if you live alone, even if you spend most of your time by yourself, you absolutely can survive a heart attack. But, and this is a big but, you have to act fast, and you have to know exactly what steps to take. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge. That's precisely why we're here today. In this video, we're going to walk through 7 crucial, practical, and potentially life-saving actions you must take the very second a heart attack begins, and you find yourself the only one around. These aren't complex medical procedures. You don't need years of training or fancy equipment. What you need is preparation, a clear head, and the right information. Our goal today isn't just to inform you, it's to empower you. We want to help you recognize those earliest, often subtle warning signs, understand what immediate actions you can take to buy yourself precious time, and learn how to maintain enough calm to get the help you desperately need. So, stick with us. This isn't just another video. It could be the most important one you watch this year. Let's get started. All right, let's dive into step number 1. Recognizing the earliest warning signs. This is, without a doubt, the single most critical step in surviving a heart attack alone. Because here's the truth. Most people expect that dramatic, chest-clutching scene you see in movies, right? The sudden crushing pain that brings you to your knees. But real heart attacks? They often begin with something far more subtle. And those early whispers from your body can be incredibly easy to ignore until it's too late. So, what are we really looking for? It's often a deep, uncomfortable pressure or a squeezing sensation right in the center of your chest. Imagine something heavy sitting on you, or like your chest is slowly being filled with cement. It might even come and go, making you think, oh, it's just indigestion, or maybe I pulled a muscle. But if that feeling lasts more than a few minutes, or if it keeps returning, please do not second-guess it. Your life could depend on it. And here's where it gets even trickier. Heart attack symptoms don't always announce themselves with chest pain first. Many people experience shortness of breath, even if they're just sitting still. It might feel like you just ran up a flight of stairs when you haven't moved an inch. Others report pain or discomfort radiating to their arm, shoulder, neck, or even their jaw. Some feel lightheaded, break out in a cold sweat, or suddenly feel nauseated and dizzy. And this is crucial, especially for older adults and women. The pain might feel more like pressure in the back or stomach than anything in the chest. It's often mistaken for indigestion or a bad back. Let me share a quick story. Richard, a gentleman I know, 74 years old. He was just sitting at his kitchen table one morning, enjoying his coffee, when he felt this strange tightness, almost like heartburn, right under his collarbone. Then, he noticed he couldn't take a full, deep breath, and his hands started to sweat. He remembered reading that not all heart attacks begin with classic pain, so instead of shrugging it off as just heartburn, he acted. That simple decision? It likely saved his life. Folks, your body often whispers before it screams, and when it comes to a heart attack, those whispers are your absolute only chance to take action before serious damage sets in. If you wait for the full-blown Hollywood-style chest-clutching drama, you may have already waited too long. So, the next time something just feels off, especially if it's a combination of pressure, shortness of breath, or unusual fatigue. Stop what you're doing. Don't try to tough it out. Don't tell yourself it's just indigestion. Recognizing these warning signs is your first, best shot at survival. Treat them seriously, even if they seem small. Your life truly might depend on it. Okay, so you felt those initial whispers, those unsettling signs we just talked about. What's the absolute next move? Without a second of hesitation, it is step number 2. Call 911 immediately. I cannot stress this enough. Do not wait to see if the symptoms magically go away. Do not try to drive yourself to the hospital. That's one of the riskiest decisions you could make, and frankly, a common tragic mistake. And please, do not assume you're overreacting. In this scenario, there's no such thing as overreacting. Calling emergency services isn't just the fastest way to get help, it's the most effective thing you can do to stay alive. Think about it this way, a heart attack isn't something you can just walk off. Every minute truly matters. The longer your heart muscle is starved of oxygen, the greater the damage becomes. But when you dial 911, trained professionals are already preparing the moment you make that call. As they speed towards you, they're bringing essential equipment, life-saving medication, and the expertise to keep you stable, or even revive you if your heart stops on the way to the hospital. Consider this often overlooked point. If your symptoms worsen quickly, and they often do with a heart attack, you won't be able to help yourself. That's why trying to drive is so dangerous. You could lose consciousness, cause a terrible accident that endangers others, or critically delay your own care. Let the professionals come to you. Their job is to bring the emergency room to your doorstep, or as close as possible. Let me tell you about Linda, 78 years old. She felt a strange ache in her left shoulder, then a wave of nausea and a cold sweat washed over her. Her first instinct, naturally, was to call her son, but then she remembered something a nurse once told her. Linda, if you're alone and think you might be having a heart attack, call 911 first. Talk to your family later. She made that call. By the time the ambulance arrived, her symptoms had intensified, but the team was ready. They stabilized her right there on the spot. That phone call saved her life. Simple as that. You don't have to be 100% certain you're having a heart attack to call for help. The dispatcher won't be upset if it turns out to be something else. In fact, they would much rather send help you didn't need than miss a chance to save a life. So, a quick tip. Keep your phone somewhere you can reach it easily, especially if you live alone. And if symptoms come on so strong you can't speak clearly, remember most phones have an emergency call feature that can dial for help even when locked. Learn where it is for your phone. It could be an absolute game changer. This isn't about being paranoid, it's about being prepared. Calling for help is your lifeline. Don't wait, make the call. All right, you've recognized the signs, and you've made that crucial 911 call. What's the very next, incredibly powerful action you can take while help is on its way? It's step number 3, chew an aspirin. Slowly and calmly. Now, I emphasize chew, not just swallow. And yes, even if your hands are shaking, try to do it slowly. If you have access to a standard 325 milligram aspirin, often called a full-strength or adult aspirin, and you know for certain you're not allergic to it, and you're not on blood thinners that would make this dangerous for your specific medical history, then this single step can dramatically increase your chances of surviving a heart attack. So how does this little pill, that's probably sitting in your medicine cabinet right now, become such a powerful ally in a heart attack? Aspirin works by thinning your blood. It helps to slow or even prevent the growth of a blood clot, which is often the very thing blocking one of your coronary arteries and causing the heart attack in the first place. Think of it like this. That clot is acting like a dam, starving your heart muscle of vital oxygen. Aspirin is trying to loosen that dam, giving your blood a fighting chance to get through. Why chew it instead of just swallowing it whole? Because chewing the tablet gets it into your system faster. Studies have shown this can buy you invaluable minutes, sometimes just enough to restore some crucial blood flow before paramedics even arrive. It's truly about that immediate impact. Now, a couple of important notes here. Ideally, you wouldn't take aspirin on an empty stomach unless absolutely necessary. But in the event of a suspected heart attack, the risk of that blood clot causing further damage far, far outweighs that concern. Also, please don't grab for coated or delayed release aspirin if you have the choice. You want the effects to start as quickly as possible. If a coated one is all you have, chew it anyway. The goal is speed. Almost destroy LY around in 1.3.100 and then use a leviring chi. Let me tell you about Joe, a 72-year-old man who experienced this firsthand. One morning, he felt that familiar tightness spreading from his chest right up into his neck. He remembered our advice from a previous video, found a bottle of aspirin in his kitchen cabinet, chewed one, and sat down calmly while waiting for the paramedics. Later, his cardiologist told him that single action, that little pill, likely reduced the damage to his heart muscle. He said, that little pill kept things from getting worse. My personal advice? If you live alone, make sure aspirin is easy to access. Keep some in your nightstand, a kitchen drawer, or even in your wallet. Just check the expiration date now and then, and tell your loved ones where you keep it, in case they ever need to help you. This small act might seem too simple to be so effective, but it's backed by science and practiced by emergency responders worldwide. And in those critical first minutes, it can be the difference between walking out of the hospital and, well, never making it there at all. Think about where your aspirin is right now. Is it easily accessible? Let me know in the comments. All right, you've made that critical call to 911 and you've taken your aspirin. What's your next seemingly simple yet absolutely crucial task? It's step number 4, stop moving. Sit or lie down to protect your heart. This is not the time to pace around, to frantically gather belongings, or to even unlock doors unless you are literally right next to it and feel completely steady. Think about it. Your heart is already struggling. It's working overtime, desperate to get enough oxygen through potentially blocked arteries. Any additional physical effort, even just walking across a room, puts more strain on an already compromised muscle. It forces your heart to pump harder, demanding more oxygen it simply doesn't have. Ideally, you want to sit with your back fully supported, your feet flat on the floor, and your arms resting loosely. This posture helps reduce your heart's workload while you wait for paramedics. If you feel faint, if you feel dizzy or lightheaded, then the best thing to do is to lie down on your side, with your head slightly elevated. This helps ensure blood flow to your brain and can prevent a dangerous fall. Now, this might feel counterintuitive, right? Our natural inclination is often to power through discomfort, to keep busy or even feel embarrassed about doing nothing while waiting for help. But make no mistake, in this moment, doing nothing is doing something incredibly important. It gives your heart a precious chance to stabilize. It slows your breathing. It keeps your body from burning through its already limited oxygen supply, directing what little it has to where it's needed most, your vital organs. I remember a story from Alice, who's 81. When she felt that radiating pressure across her chest, her first instinct was to clean up the kitchen, tidy up, get herself together before anyone saw her. But then she distinctly recalled her doctor's words. Alice, if you ever think it's your heart, just sit down. Everything else can wait. She literally sank into her favorite recliner and waited. That stillness, she later learned from the paramedics, likely prevented her symptoms from escalating into a full cardiac arrest. Her calm, deliberate act of simply resting made all the difference. So, if those symptoms ever start creeping in, that pressure, shortness of breath, dizziness, do not try to finish that chore or send that last email, or even walk to the front door for a better view. Stop right where you are, or move as little as humanly possible to the safest, most comfortable spot. Sit or lie still. Breathe slowly. Let your body focus on just one job, surviving. Remember, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to simply be still. All right, you've made that critical call to 911, you've taken your aspirin, and you're staying still to protect your heart. Now, if you still have enough strength after those crucial first steps, there's another incredibly helpful thing you can do. It's step number 5, Unlock your door for emergency responders. Now, this might seem like such a small, even obvious detail in the grand scheme of a heart attack, right? But believe me, in an emergency, every single second matters. And a locked door? It can create an unnecessary, dangerous delay when time truly is everything. Paramedics are trained to break in if they need to, of course. They'll do whatever it takes to get to you. But forced entry adds precious minutes. It causes property damage, and it could even startle or injure you if you're close to the entry point. Think about it. An unlocked door lets them walk right in and begin life-saving care immediately. That simple act could save several vital minutes. Minutes that your heart, which is already under immense stress, might not have to spare. This is why, especially if you live alone, maybe in an apartment building, a condo, or a gated community, it's so important to think through the logistics of your home before a crisis ever happens. Is your front door easy to open from the inside? Is your address clearly visible from the street, even at night? Do you have a trusted neighbor or family member who has a spare key or can quickly access one? These are the kinds of things that don't seem urgent until suddenly they are the most urgent. A little pre-planning here can make a world of difference. Let me share a quick example. Paul, 76, lives in a small condo. When his symptoms began, he called 911, chewed his aspirin, and then, remembering what he'd heard, he carefully made his way to the door and unlocked it. All of this in under 2 minutes. Later, the paramedics told him that single action helped them reach him at least 30 seconds faster and saved them from having to break down his door. Paul told me, "That's the last thing I would have thought of, but it might have been what got me help just in time." Now, a crucial caveat here. If walking to the door feels too risky, if you feel faint, dizzy, or unstable, then do not do it. Your priority is to stay safe and still. Sit down, focus on your breathing, and let the 911 dispatcher know your door is locked. They'll guide you. But if you're close to the door and feel steady enough to reach it safely, go ahead and unlock it. You might also consider investing in a smart lock with remote access or even a medical lockbox for your key, especially if you live alone or have mobility challenges. It's a small act of preparation, but it sends a powerful message to the people rushing to save you. I'm ready. I've done my part. Now it's your turn to do the rest. All right, we're moving through these crucial steps, and each one builds on the last. You've called for help, taken aspirin, found a safe position, and if you could, you've unlocked your door. Now, while you're waiting alone during a heart attack, your phone transforms into more than just a communication tool. It becomes your absolute lifeline. And one of the smartest ways to use it in that critical moment is step number 6. Utilize your phone's speakerphone or medical ID features. First, let's talk about speakerphone. This simple act allows you to talk to emergency responders completely hands-free. Why is this so important? Because it frees you up to focus on breathing. Deep, slow breaths, and staying as calm as humanly possible without needing to grip your phone tightly or hold it to your ear. When you're under extreme distress, even the physical act of holding something to your ear can make it harder to breathe. Using speakerphone not only reduces that physical strain, but it also allows the dispatcher to hear you more clearly, especially if your voice is weak or if you suddenly become too weak to talk. They can even listen for signs of your condition in the background. Your breathing patterns, any movements, even the subtle changes in your tone. It's an invaluable tool for them to monitor your state. But beyond that, nearly every smartphone now has something just as critical: your emergency medical ID. On an iPhone, this is accessible even from the lock screen. On Android phones, there's often a similar feature. What does it hold? Vital information like your age, any allergies you have, current medications you're taking, and pre-existing medical conditions. Imagine this scenario. Paramedics arrive, and you've lost consciousness. If your phone has this information set up, that data can save precious time and guide their immediate decisions about your care. Let me tell you about Susan, 79 years old. She passed out just moments before help arrived. But because her phone had her medical ID set up, the paramedics knew immediately that she was diabetic and allergic to penicillin. That information was gold. It saved them from giving her something that could have made her condition far worse, and they were instantly able to call her daughter using the emergency contact listed right there in the phone. That simple setup was literally a lifesaver. Setting up this information takes less than 5 minutes, seriously. Just open your health app or emergency settings. Include your name, birth date, any major medical conditions, all your current medications, any allergies you have, and one. This isn't just for tech-savvy folks. It's for anyone who might one day need help when they can't speak for themselves. So, if you ever feel those first signs of a heart attack coming on, use your speakerphone. Stay connected. Trust the person on the other end. Their calm voice, steady instructions, and constant presence can make the waiting less terrifying. And if something happens before help arrives, your phone might still speak for you when you no longer can. Take a moment after this video to set up your medical ID. It's a small step that could have a monumental impact. We've covered so much, from recognizing those first subtle signs to making that critical call and getting your phone set up. Now, we come to step number 7, and this one is perhaps the most profound because it's a tool you carry with you always, a tool that can anchor you in the middle of chaos, your breath. In the midst of a heart attack, it's incredibly easy for panic to take over. Your chest feels tight, your thoughts race, and every second seems louder than the last. But here's the powerful truth. If you use your breath wisely, it can calm your nervous system just enough to give your heart a better chance at holding steady until help arrives. Controlled breathing isn't about curing the heart attack itself. It's about keeping your body from spiraling into full-blown shock. Think about what happens when you get anxious. Your heart races, right? It beats faster, works harder. By intentionally slowing your breath, you can gently, coaxingly pull that rhythm back down. You don't need a fancy yoga technique or a deep meditation practice. You just need this simple rhythm. Breathe in slowly through your nose for about 4 seconds. Hold it for just a moment. Then, exhale gently through your mouth for a count of 6 seconds. Do it again and again. Just focus on that one small, steady rhythm. It gives your body something to anchor to, something consistent in a moment of utter uncertainty. And crucially, this can help prevent your heart from going into dangerous arrhythmias, those irregular heartbeats often triggered by extreme stress. Let me tell you about Frank, 83 years old. When the pain hit him, he said he felt like he was drowning in fear. But he remembered a simple breathing exercise his doctor had taught him during a routine checkup. He focused on each breath, kept himself as still as possible, and consciously tried to let go of the panic. By the time the paramedics arrived, his heart was still unstable, as expected, but it was not in full cardiac arrest. "I just kept thinking, stay calm, stay alive," he later told me. It was his simple act of conscious breathing that gave him that crucial edge. The beauty of this is you can practice this breathing anytime, when you're resting, when you're feeling a little anxious, even when you're just watching TV. The more familiar it feels, the more instinctively your body will return to it when the stakes are high. Your breath alone won't fix your arteries, no, but it can buy you time. It can keep oxygen flowing. It can help your heart hold on. And sometimes, in those final moments before help arrives, that's the only edge you need. Stay still, stay alive. You've got this. So, we've reached the end of our journey today, and I hope you feel a little more prepared, a little more empowered. At the end of the day, surviving a heart attack alone isn't just about luck. It's fundamentally about preparation, awareness, and calm, decisive action. We've walked through these crucial steps together, and each one, on its own, might seem simple, but remember, they form a powerful chain that can literally save your life. Recognizing those earliest warning signs, calling for help immediately, taking aspirin if you can, sitting or lying down to conserve your strength, making it easier for help to reach you by unlocking your door, using your phone's smart tools like speakerphone and medical ID, And finally, slowing your breathing to keep your heart steady. Every single one of these measures buys you a little more time. Each one gives you a little more control in a situation that feels utterly out of control. And each one sends a profound message that even when you're completely alone, you are not powerless. Heart attacks can feel like the most frightening kind of solitude, like you're isolated from all help. But these steps remind you that you're not truly helpless. Not for a second. You have tools, you have knowledge, and now you have a clear plan. So, I want to ask you, what stood out the most to you today? Was there a step you hadn't considered before or one that you now see in a completely different light? Take a moment to think about how you can apply this to your own life. Maybe it's checking where your aspirin is, setting up your medical ID, or simply practicing that calming breath technique. And please, consider sharing this video with someone you care about. It might not just save your life, it could save theirs too. Thank you so much for joining us today. Your engagement means the world to us, and it helps us continue creating content that truly matters. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Reading your comments gives us incredible motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends and family. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.